For example, this is Expressions with Kesang and Tshewang, a special edition on self-expression.
As humans, we go through things, good and bad. Yet we are so oblivious to our own emotions. But sometimes we meet someone so attuned with their own emotions that they can not just write about it, but make the readers go through the same emotions they did. This episode is about that someone, a poet, and most of all, a beautiful human being.
Hello everyone, I'm Tenzin Yoezer, currently pursuing Bachelor's of Engineering in Information and Technology at CST, which is in Tshewang.
In this one-dimensional world where everyone wants to belong to an already constructed groups of society, being true to yourself is the greatest strength one can have.
Himalaya, it is like basic nature of human being that they love categorizing, they love clubbing things because they're so scared of the unknown and uncertainty. That's why they have created a category such as male and female. So when they say male, you have to be strong, you shouldn't cry, you should be the head of the family. When you're female, you should be in the kitchen, you should work, you should be soft spoken, and you should everything. And like they have created this clear distinction. So now when there's a gay guy, feminine gay guy, now where do you put him in this category? So this is where your cemented social rule or the system breaks there. So I like to also think that LGBT is the concept where your gender discriminations or gender stereotypes come to die. So the main question here is how I have started to accept myself, and this is the three main guidelines as I have found. First is you can be whoever you want to be. As long as it makes you happy, you can be whoever you want to be. You can be feminine, you can be gay, whatever makes you happy. Second, and you can love whoever you want to. The third point is you deserve to be loved for who you are. Being gay is not going to be everything about you as a person. Being gay might be like only 1% sexual orientation, which should come when you're ready to have a family. So when I talk about you, I don't think of you directly, oh, she's a straight person. I look at you as a person who loves literature, who loves to do these radio shows, who like to talk with people. That's the first glance I look at you. So being gay is just going to be like 1% of a person, and it's going to be shameful, and it's unjustified, I think, for you to hate someone just because of that 1%. The 1% different. Every one of us is very different. I think you need to respect others like how you want to be respected too.
In the quest of exploring, experiencing, and finding oneself, Tenzin Yoezer has some thought-provoking discovery. A journey filled with questions and self-doubt, he brings wisdom through his writings that reflect the deepest truth of self-expression and acceptance.
It's titled So Gay. At first, I tried everything to be invisible. It seemed much safer in a dark closet, without the light showing everyone who I was. Living in a world where boys are supposed to like girls, I tried to cut this part of me out, but it was an organ to my soul, and without it, I seemed to be dying. Even though we have our own preferences, can anyone be sure of who we will fall for when it comes to love? With every breath, it got harder to breathe. I couldn't take it anymore, so I broke through the doors and everyone saw me in disgust. But the breath of fresh air brought life into my lungs, and the light that I thought would kill me didn't. In the fear of ending up alone in life, rode my train of thoughts away from home. Long was I in search for happiness, wondering if it's in the sparkly ocean eyes of a man. Had convinced myself that I would be only happy with a loving man beside me. 21 heartbreaks I had after I came out gay. Being rejected for my excessive weight, ignored for my less attractive face. I masked myself in tight dresses and starved myself to get skinny. I cursed the way I walked and talked as people glared at me. Then again, it's me at the end, drowning in their sexual intentions. I had lost everything and even myself. Even though I was gay, being happy was far away. But smiles and chuckles did blossom my mood as I danced like a gorilla to my favorite song. I went to the mirror and saw my mother's smile blend with mine. Despite all my flaws, I did look better just because I was happy. I wasn't an architectural building that I could plan, cut, shape, and color. I was a living person and I had hurt myself for too long. I accepted all of me with a warm hug, treating myself with the things I loved and letting myself go into a happy me brought me happiness and made me gay. Someday, I may fall in love, and Lord knows it would mean so much to me. But today, it wasn't about being loved by everyone, or a romantic man holding my hand in a dying sunset. It was looking in the mirror with content, having this person who I can relate to, who doesn't ask me to be something more, who doesn't make me feel any less, who wishes everyone happiness and love. And it's me. I love me. And God, I'm so gay. It has been a routine or kind of a habit, like wherever I went in interviews, people will ask me questions like, when did I realize I was gay, or like when did I realize that I was different. But then what seems apparent, or which seems more meaningful now when I look back, is like how I have tried to accept myself in this world. And this poem mainly revolves around how, even though I had recognized this part of me, which was liking boys, which is also quite different to the perspective people have in the world, and which they cannot consider as a part of being normal. So this poem mainly revolves around the social issues or the stigma or the expectations and hope that we place on children to be perfect, to be 100%, to be so glamorous, to be skinny. It's quite interesting how before happiness, when you advertise happiness, it was like having food, shelter, and the basic needs, and it's enough. Yes. But now these days, the advertisement has gone up. Like, in order to be happy, you need an iPhone. Yeah, you need to have a huge house. You need to have this perfect family. You need to have a good body. You need to have the fancy clothes. You need to speak so glamorous. Have the accent and everything. And this, the rules and the expectations that the youth that carry right now, I think it's so soul crushing, And like how I said, I was in an architectural building that I could cut, plan, and shape or color. So basically, people, what I consider are trees, Trees, some trees are big, some trees are small, but then they are all very important. They contribute their share of oxygen to the world that is very needed. So we are very different. We come in all forms of diversity, I think, like in the colors of a rainbow.
But does self-expression and acceptance come easy?
So the next piece is titled I Can't Swim. It is more of an article. You say I look down these days, and maybe if you tried to see what holds between my eyelids, you would have found some clues like tears that tear me up when you talk about parents I didn't have anymore. I miss them, carrying their photograph in my wallet wherever I go. Were you ever told you're a burden or an extra person in someone's life when that someone is all that you have right now? Did everyone you love walk away from you, one by one, because you weren't important anymore? Are you haunted by voices that calls you names you didn't know could exist? Could you sense the pitiful tone everyone uses as they console you, to tell you that you will be happier someday, just not today? Did you come home to meet an empty house with good news, but there was none you could tell to? And everyone is concerned about the elite people who take little pricks so seriously. Were you ever ignored when you wanted to start conversations, but the other person thinks you're a weirdo? Is always a significant number. It's been like forever since I got a good night's sleep, and this heaviness is slowing my steps. I'm just tired of everything. Tired of pretending, and tired of being a failure. Let's face the truth, no one likes to talk about this or be anywhere near these sad emotions. Everyone wants to be happy. Tears that I bottle up inside me is filling my lungs, and I'm drowning every day. It's getting harder to breathe here. I want to scream, but the water has choked me up, and the air which used to be abundant isn't anymore, and it turns me so blue. It becomes so scary you lose every warmth in your soul, and you're just waiting for help. You scream, but no one can hear you, and you can't swim because you do not know how to get through this. And just for a moment, you wonder if death could hurt you as much as this. A sweet person comes to me and asks me if I'm okay, and like a curse broken, I try to speak but I cry out, and all the water rushes all at once. She rubs my back, she assures me that everything will be okay. But you know nothing gets better, and you just get used to being this, a bag of tears. And I cry on and on, drain out all the water till I can breathe again. I think my mom started to, go on her religious trips since I was 10, and I'm the only child. And I think dad and me, we stick together, but then I think it was quite hard since he got married, and it was such a problem. We had constant fights. I mean, they are not the bad guy actually. We were really trying hard to be happy. Just we realized, I think it wouldn't be possible if we were together. We can be happy, like now we are all happy, but not together. We are happy. It's just I wrote these emotions. I think this perfectly, when I look back, it paints me the picture how it was back then.
It can be hard to break through the hard shell of preconceived societal notions, but once you find the strength to look beyond these boundaries, love and understanding comes easier than hate.
So this is titled Behind Every Man. Behind every man who smokes cigarette had his dreams burnt by his diet. Behind every drunk man there is a heart-aching pain which crying won't heal. Behind every pervert boy there is another pervert uncle who taught him that women are pleasurable objects. Behind every homophobic dad there is another father who beat the hell out of him, telling him that boys should be strong and muscular. Behind every player boy is a girl who promised him a future just to leave him because he was less expressive of his love. Behind every alpha male there is a past where he was forced to grow up, to lead and be accountable for every mistake he commits. Behind every notion that man has ruined, hurt and been selfish is a world that has ruined, hurt and denied him a loving growth. Men are not entirely to be blamed. This doesn't have a title. Your mom and I made a funny snowman of you, and your sister supported us with a radish to the face. The smile could have torn my face, but you ran after me as soon as you knew. You took me down into the soft snow and covered me like a warm blanket. Your eyes poisoned me with paralysis. Your nose pressed on my nose like a button, and now I couldn't stop. You tasted of hot chocolate that I left for you. I ran my hands over your face and I knew love must have a body like you. Music must have a laughter like you. Happiness must have a smile like you. And promise must have a hug, but less warm than how you hold me.
So this is a poem that you wrote when you fell in love?
Yeah.
First time?
Yeah.
In a world where people are so quick to hate, especially something they don't understand, Bhutan, as a nation following the developmental philosophy of happiness, has seen great patience, changes, and acceptance for love of any kind.
So, in the current situation, I think in the nation level, I think we are sort of okay. Ever since the Lempo went on the television and said transnational sexy. But I'm really glad that he did that. I mean, no one had the guts to do that, And then just because of simple mistake, we made memes about him. But I'd like to thank him so much. He had the courage that no other MPs had, I think. So nationwide, I think, yes, we are sort of okay. Now, with family acceptance, I think it really depends on family acceptance now. Because if you're not a good child, as a child only more, if you're not good with your parents, if you don't listen to what they say, and if you're always, not being home and then suddenly you come out gay, parents, you have to accept me and love me like that. They won't, because you were a really bad child. It's not because you were gay. But then if you're really nice, if you're really close to your parents, knowing that you are gay now, it's somewhat like different between women and like aliens. But you don't want the relationship to change. You want them closer with it. So if you treat them right, if you love them like unconditionally, there's no doubt they will take a chance to accept you, sir, to ask you how you are, hoping that you are okay. So when we are coming out as gay, we are not saying that, oh, we are trying to sexualize everything, we are not trying to advertise gay, okay, you have to be gay, you have to be lesbian, it's so good. No, our intention is not that. Our intention is we want you to be comfortable in your own body. We want you to rest in your own mind. Hemadi, it's about killing one another. Yes. But now it's about one killing oneself. I think it's really important if someone comes out to you because they want your acceptance. They will consider you that important that they are willing to break out of their shell where they are very vulnerable to tell you that they have been genuine with this. They are out of their most sacred, most vulnerable state, they are telling you they want to be loved. So I think it's really important about what you could say to a person who comes out to you. You can say something like, well, I love you as the person that you are, and you may think that this relationship will change or not, but then I want us to be just the same, and I really hope that I didn't cause you too much trouble or made you too uncomfortable in your own body, with your own self. I hope the world didn't torment you too much. Despite everything, I'm glad that you decided to come out to me and consider me that special, So with that, I would like to wish you all the happiness and love in the world, and I hope we'll just stay the same. I'm proud of you.
Have you ever had someone say this to you?
Oh no. Maybe that's why I made this, because nobody said it to me. At first, when I came out, no one said this. I mean, Shule Ladayas friends, my friends, and a lot of people who are close to me, they really said really nice things.
This was it for this week's episode of Expressions. This episode is special because it talks about vulnerabilities, emotions that run deep, and the amount of strength needed to come around and accept and love who you are, despite battling not just the society that criticizes the unknown, but battling yourself and the innate need to fit in. Tenzin Yoezer is not just a gay. He's so much more than that. He's a person who finds beauty in the little things in life and has a heart to forgive just anyone. Tenzin Yoezer is a person filled with hope and a lot of love to give.